What's up? This is MLB Talk 123. This is a move that I'm very excited about. The Cardinals, they were seeking middle infield help, but that doesn't really do much when you announce that, considering the fact that there really is no significant names out there for middle infield help. Uh, so, you got guys like Rafael Furcal, and they come up and you go, well, that's a big name. But the reason why he didn't get too much attention was he's been struggling so much this year. But the last 8 or 9 games, he's hit above 300, which is a good sign. And he's had to deal with a lot of injuries. That's the main reason why he hasn't been himself lately. But last year, he was kind of healthy, kind of not, but he hit 300. So it's a lot better. I think this is a good move for the Cardinals. He has some speed. He's a good leadoff hitter, and even has a little bit of power. So for the Cardinals to get this guy, I'm very excited about it. Even if he hits like 250, we're not losing too much. We did have to give up Double A outfielder Alex Castellanos. I'm so bad with names, so I'm just gonna call him Alex. But we had to give up Alex, a Double A outfielder. He was batting like 319, and he had kind of a power surge. He had like 16 or something home runs, and he was driving in a lot of runs, 60 runs in 90 games, and I think he had 19 home runs, something like that. But for the Dodgers, this is a good move. They got an outfield prospect. They got Rafael Furcal. He had a $12 million option for next year. Obviously, the Dodgers would not do that. Dodgers need money. And for them to not have to count on him having a $12 million salary for next season, that's very good. Again, that was an option, though, so they didn't have to use the option. But obviously, trading him and not having him for 2 months isn't that big of a deal at this point, especially when you have D. Gordon, their prospect at shortstop, that they want to give him a chance at major league level. So for the Dodgers, makes sense. You trade Rafael Furcal, you bring up D. Gordon, get him some major league experience, and now at shortstop, instead of spending $12 million a year, you're spending like $600K or whatever they're spending on D. Gordon right now. So minor league salary, or whatever the salary is for him. But it's significantly less than $12 million, as we all know. You just brought up in the major leagues, it's going to be low. So they're trying to find low-cost players, and obviously, it's gonna be tough for them to be keeping around Andre Ethier after this year. He has one more year left, and Matt Kemp. They need to start putting interest. Sorry about this chair. They need to start putting interest in re-signing a guy like Matt Kemp, and Andre Ethier. But Andre Ethier probably will be traded, I would guess. There even was some rumors about Andre Ethier maybe trade talks this year when he has a whole year left on his contract. That obviously is probably because Dodgers aren't in a position to really win at this point. I'm very surprised about it, because at the beginning of the year, I thought the Dodgers were going to do very well. They got all these new guys, and I thought they were going to do very well this year. And they've just not done well at all. But, Matt Kemp has been just a star on their team. So, but Rafael Furcal to the Cardinals. For the Cardinals standpoint, this is a big deal. I know people are kind of mixed about it, because there's a whole crowd of people. I think 60%, maybe 70% Cardinal fans are very excited about this, because we've been trying to get middle infield help for a long time. We've been trying to get a good shortstop. We haven't had a prime shortstop since Edgar Renteria. And I'm not saying that Rafael Furcal is going to be what Edgar Renteria was in 2004 and 5, but what I'm saying is that Rafael Furcal has a chance to hit over 300 for us, maybe steal a few bases, and be a good leadoff hitter that can drive and runs too. So I like his hitting approach. He's a veteran guy. He knows how to win. He's been to the playoffs. And this is a guy who's, I think that young Cardinal players can learn a lot from. And he seems like, just a great guy to add. He's a 33-year-old shortstop. He had to waive his 10-5 rights because he's been in he's been in the league for 10 years, and he's been on the same team for 5 years. So, this season he's only hitting a little bit under 200, but he's batted like 308 or something like that in his last few games. So this is a good move for the Cardinals. Obviously, the biggest name to be out there that's batting 200, the biggest name out there, shortstop wise, only batting 200, but he's the biggest name because he's had very good success. I think he owns a career line of around 300 or above. So this guy can get on base. Yes, he has an on base percentage of below 300 at this point. But again, he's been injured. He's been struggling. He's finally finding a groove. And I think this is the right time for the Cardinals to make a deal. The Cardinals might not be done if you're a Cardinals fan. We've been rumored to be one of the last teams in on Eric Bedard. And really at this point, I don't know how much it would take to get him because the fact that, Eric Bedard, he gave up like 5 runs the last outing. He was injured, I know, but if we got him, that would be a plus, adding pitching depth to the rotation. And it would pretty much, if a guy like Jake Westbrook really struggles, Eric Bedard could replace him. But again, there's a lot of moves that are kind of like could happen. Heath Bell, Eric Bedard. The Cardinals have had a trade deadline to remember. By trading away Colby Rasmus, their top prospect, for like 5 years in a row. And they trade him away and pretty much fill up all their pitching needs. And they're still going at it. They get middle infield help. They said they're prioritizing middle infield help. I didn't think that they were going to do anything, though, because, they've been trying to seek middle infield help. They said that before, and then they waited until the offseason, and then they got Ryan Theriot, which, he's been pretty good for the Cardinals, but he hasn't been that big of an upgrade, considering the fact that, he's like 2 for 42 right now, too, and his defense, he's had 15 errors. So, for the Cardinals to get Rafael Furcal, a guy who has pretty good defense usually. Last year he had a lot of errors, but he was we'll see what happens. But this guy, he's been pretty hot lately, and he's going to be a good addition for the Cardinals team. Thanks for watching MLB Talk 1, 2, 3.